This is the story of the river and the moon. Once upon a time, in a quiet valley cradled by misty mountains, a river meandered through fields of wildflowers and dense forests. It had been flowing for as long as it could remember, carving its path through the land, whispering its secrets to the stones and the trees. But despite all the places it had been and all the life it had touched, the river carried a quiet ache within its waters. It wasn't sure why. It wasn't sure what was missing, but something surely was. One evening, as the river curved lazily beneath the darkening sky, it looked up and noticed the moon, high and silver, casting its soft light over the land. The river had always admired the moon. It never rushed, never changed its course. It simply existed, steady and serene. The river envied that stillness. "Moon," the river called, its voice rippling in the night. "How do you do it? How do you feel whole?" The moon, round and glowing, sent its reflection shimmering across the water. "Do you think I'm whole?" it asked with a knowing smile. "Of course," the river said. "You shine so perfectly. I'm always moving, always changing, and yet I never feel like I've arrived, like I'm complete." The moon chuckled, its light twinkling on the river's surface. "But I change too," it said. "Some nights I'm full, other nights I'm a mere sliver, and sometimes you can't even see me at all. Am I less whole when I'm only a crescent?" The river paused. I suppose not. But you always return to fullness." "And so do you," the moon replied gently. "You rise, you fall, you twist and turn. But you are always the river. Do you think the sky is only the sky when it's clear and bright? That a tree is only a tree when it's covered in leaves?" The river thought about this. It thought about how, in the winter, the trees stood bare, and yet no one doubted they were still trees. It thought about the sky, how it could be blue, gray, stormy, or golden with the sunset, and yet it never stopped being the sky. And then it thought about itself, how sometimes it was a gentle trickle, and sometimes a powerful rush. And yet, through it all, it had never stopped being a river. "And what if I never reach the ocean?" the river asked. "What if I spend my whole life moving and never find what I'm looking for?" "Ah," the moon said, "but maybe your purpose is not to reach the ocean. Maybe your purpose is to flow, to touch the land, to nourish the roots of trees, to cradle the stars in your reflection. Maybe you're not meant to be still. Maybe your journey is the very thing that makes you whole. The river was quiet for a long time. It listened to the wind rustling the reeds along its banks, felt the cool earth beneath it, and watched as fireflies danced above its surface. And for the first time, instead of surging forward in search of something unseen, it simply let itself be. The moon smiled. You've always been enough, dear river. You just needed to see it. And so, the river continued to flow, not because it lacked something, but because that was what rivers do. And for the first time, it didn't feel empty. It carried wholeness in every ripple, in every bend, and in every reflection of the stars above. And that night, the river slept, cradled in the arms of the valley, beneath the quiet glow of the moon. And that's our story. Have a good night. Sweet dreams.